I am Jake Butler. I'm from the state of New Jersey in the United States of America. I started wrestling in New Jersey at a very young age. It's a really big sport in New Jersey where I'm from. It's really popular. All the kids do it probably at some point in their life. I guess what initially dragged me into it was my older brother had started wrestling, and kind of just being the younger brother, I always wanted to follow him around and do whatever he was doing. And so through him, I started out in my first wrestling. Wrestling pretty quickly became my passion. It became like the only thing I really wanted to do, all I thought about. I was in love with the sport. All through grade school, through high school, I just continued to work hard at it and was able to achieve some success. After high school, I was very fortunate. I got accepted into one of the top universities in the United States, Princeton University, to continue my academic career and also my wrestling career there. And that was really a big moment in my life. Came from a very blue-collar background. None of my parents had the opportunity to go to university, so yeah, it was a great opportunity for me to get a great education and compete in the highest level of wrestling in the U.S. Wrestling in college was a great experience. It's a lot of hard work. It's a step up in competition and level. Everyone there is really competitive, especially at that Division I level. The training is intense, and managing that with a pretty rigorous academic schedule, a lot of schoolwork. It was tough, but it was definitely worth it. In highly competitive sports like wrestling, like MMA, they're always filled with ups and downs. You're going to have really down times. You're going to have really up times. One of the most difficult times was my freshman year at university. I was coming out of high school with a lot of momentum. I had a lot of lofty goals for myself and a lot of things I wanted to achieve right out of the gate my freshman year. And just before our first competition, I got a pretty serious injury, and it ended up requiring a lot of rehabilitation, and then I had to sit out my entire freshman year. But luckily I had a good support network around me. I had good coaches, good teammates, good family, and they helped me through it. And I think I was able to rehab myself fully, and I came back a lot stronger my sophomore year. And after that, I was able to do a lot of good things and have a very successful wrestling career. I was captain of the wrestling team my senior year, so that was a good honor, and I'm fairly happy with how my career turned out. After university, I decided to walk away from competitive wrestling. I took a job working in finance in New York City, and from the outside it seemed like it was a great job, a great opportunity. I was making great income, I was living very comfortably, but the reality of it was a lot different for me. It just pretty quickly after starting that work, I realized that it wasn't what I wanted to do. I became increasingly more unhappy with the work, put in those hours doing stuff that I really didn't enjoy. So after a great deal of reflection and what I would call some pretty dark days, being just really depressed and unhappy with my situation in life, I decided that I wanted to pursue professional MMA. It was a hard decision because I was leaving what many people would consider a sturdy job and a very comfortable life behind for something that was certainly not necessarily a steady and stable career path, but it was my dream, and it was something I felt like I had to do, and it took a lot of courage to leave behind my past life, but in the end it was the only decision for me. While I was working my job in New York City, I was obviously a huge fan of MMA, and I was following the UFC and started to see a lot of guys that I had grown up wrestling with and competing against start to succeed in wrestling. When I was in university, I competed. I was very competitive with guys, Chris Weidman, Phil Davis, and just a host of other guys who I had been competing with and wrestling with my whole life. I saw them go and achieve great success in MMA, and it just kind of gave me that extra kick, that extra push I needed to go for it. Luckily, just about the time that I decided I was going to give MMA a try and return to competition, I came across Evolve MMA, and it was just the perfect opportunity for me. It made the decision a whole lot easier. You know, Evolve MMA at that time was looking to bring in some wrestlers to round out their team, and for me, with a wrestling background, I needed most you know, world-class striking coaches, and that is exactly what Evolve MMA offered. And you know, for an aspiring fighter, a young fighter, there's probably no better place in the world than Evolve MMA. They give us, you know, every opportunity to succeed, and it was really just a great chance I had to come here and join. Since joining Evolve MMA, things have really just unfolded perfectly for me. You know, I couldn't imagine a better place for me to be. Relative to my previous job, my previous work, you know, here at Evolve, I wake up every day excited to come to work, surrounded by great people. We get world-class training every day. We have a world-class team, coaches, support network around us, and it's been great. And through Evolve MMA and the opportunities they've given me, I've been able to live my dream. When I reflect back on my long lifetime in martial arts and wrestling, and all the valuable lessons I've learned and the things I've done, and then I look at, you know, where I am now, I think, you know, I can attribute a great deal of the person I am today to my experiences in martial arts and wrestling, and the things that I've learned through them, that I've gotten my hard work ethic from martial arts. I've learned integrity, I've learned honor, and you know, I've learned to you know, to chase your dreams with passion and to go after what you want and work hard to get it. I'm Jake Butler, and I'm a warrior.